Special thanks to Patreon supporter Derek Frost Westbrook for making this video possible. Hello ladies and gentlemen, ZPro here bringing you another Minecraft Cold War BAFTA build tutorial. In this tutorial we'll be going ahead and building the USNS General Hoyt S Vandenberg T-AGM 10. The USNS General Hoyt S Vandenberg, originally named the USS General Harry Taylor, was a General G.O. Squire class transport ship in the United States Navy in World War II, named in honor of the U.S. Army Chief of Engineers Harry Taylor. She served for a time as an Army transport, USAT General Harry Taylor, and was reacquired by the Navy in 1950 as USNS General Harry Taylor. Placed in reserve in 1958, she was transferred to the U.S. Air Force in 1961 and renamed the USAFS General Hoyt S. Vandenberg in 1963 in honor of the former Air Force Chief of Staff. She was reacquired by the U.S. Navy in 1964 as USNS General Hoyt S. Vandenberg. Retired in 1983 and struck from the Naval Register in 1993, she was to be sunk as an artificial reef, originally intended for the spring of 2008. But instead was placed under federal line to be auctioned off for payment recovery in December 2008 at Norfolk Federal Court. A group of banks and financiers from Key West bought the vessel off the auction block, and it was docked at the East Quay Pier of Key West Harbor. The ship was sunk May 27, 2009, is the second largest artificial reef in the world after the aircraft carrier USS Orsini. The ship was designed to kind of be a missile-ranged instrumentation ship, and that's kind of its main service as a ship. Interestingly enough, a U.S. Air Force ship at one point, so it's kind of got a weird history to it, a lot of back and forth name change and roles and all that stuff, but overall pretty interesting ship nonetheless, and one of those really unique ones that'll make a interesting addition to your BAFTA build fleets. So without further ado, let's go ahead and kind of give a big special thanks to Patreon supporter Derek Frost Westbrook for making this tutorial possible. As always, if you're interested in supporting the channel where you already do, feel free to check my Patreon page. Link is always in my video descriptions, where you can go and pledge a small amount to the channel every month, and in doing so, earn a vehicle request to your choosing. It really helps support the work I do on my channel. It's really greatly appreciated, so definitely feel free to check that out. Again, link will always be in my video descriptions. With that though, let's go and dive in here to take a look at the USNS General Hoyt S Vandenberg. So going ahead and diving into it, this ship is solely a kind of missile range instrumentation ship. That's its kind of sole purpose. It doesn't serve any combative roles or whatever like that. I think it's mainly just for missile ranges and being able to act as maybe an early detection, or not really early detection, but be able to have, I guess, radar or something to make sure there's no ships in the way that could get hit by the missile, or to measure something to do with the missile range. I don't know. Serves something along the lines of that role. But basically we have the kind of main forward mast here, which is, or one of the main masts, which is this forward mast kind of communication radio or something like that. It looks like just a bunch of different instrumentation and all that kind of stuff up here in the front. We then move to the conning tower here, which has the main mast and again, a bunch of more communication, radomes, and stuff like that located in this section there. As we progress further back along the ship, we have lifeboats. We then have these three giant satellites. So something that's kind of interesting and unique for this ship. Definitely what kind of gives its main appearance is these giant three satellites on the ship. And we have the smokestack back here, again, some more instrumentation equipment and all that stuff on the back, and that really is a ship. It's a pretty simple, straightforward build, and should make a kind of a cool addition as a very unique Cold War era ship to add to your worlds. Anyways though, that's going to do it for this overview. Let's go and move into the tutorial by beginning with our first layer. Alright guys, so real quick before we go ahead and move into the tutorial, a few things I want to mention here is that first off, if you're completely new to my BAFTA build tutorials, what I like to do for the first few layers, it's probably about the first 4 layers for this build in particular, I like to do half on, half off. What this does is just kind of speeds up the process for making the hull. The hulls are pretty simple and both sides are the same, so there really isn't any too much complication when it comes to basically building the hull, so that's why we're doing it this way, and it kind of speeds up these first few layers. But once we get into the more complicated stuff, like the superstructure and the deck and all that stuff, we'll be doing that all together. So anyways, let's go ahead and move into our tutorial. The first thing we want to do is you want to make sure that we position this correctly in the water. So to make sure you position this correctly in the water, you want to make sure that this is basically, you can see the 3 blocks of blue concrete, that's our water level. You want to make sure that these top slabs here for the bottom of the ship are basically right underneath that. So very important to make sure that's correct, because obviously if it's not, your ship is not going to sit properly in the water. So just take the time, make sure it's good to go, and we'll go ahead and get started here. Now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to place down a long row of brick top slabs. This row in total is going to be a row of 28 brick top slabs in length, followed by a birchwood top slab, skip a space, and then another brick top slab like that to go ahead and make your center line. We then want to go ahead and count back from the front. So our front's going to be over here, obviously, with the side, not with that back there. We're going to count back to our 8th block. We're going to place down a acacia wood trapdoor to the side, and then a second one back from that. We then want to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16 brick slabs, and then 2 acacia wood trapdoors directly after that. Once we have that all complete there, that is going to basically wrap up what we have there for layer 1. Pretty simple stuff. You'll take the same thing, you'll be on the right side, copy it over the left side, and that's what you should have for the overview. Anyway, so that's it for that. Let's move on to layer number 2. Moving into our next layer, we have layer number 2. For layer 2 to begin with, we're going to place down a row of red concrete that's going to go all the way down the length of our ship down the center. It's going to be 28 blocks long from this brick top slab to this one back here. We're going to go then place down a brick top slab going back from this red concrete block, then a acacia wood trapdoor, and then on top of this brick top slab a red concrete block. After that's done, going back up to the front, we're going to go ahead and go back to our 3rd and 4th red concrete blocks. We're going to place down 2 red stained glass panes, then 2 brick walls, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 red concrete blocks back, and then a red stained glass pane like that on the rear there. Next row, we're going to go ahead and go back up to the front. We're going to count back to our 3rd and 4th red concrete blocks. We're going to place down 2 red stained glass panes, 2 brick walls, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 red concrete blocks, 2 brick walls, and 2 red stained glass panes directly after that. And that right there will basically wrap up what we have there for layer number 2. And with that, we'll be moving on to layer number 3. Moving into our next layer, we have layer number 3. For layer 3 to go ahead and get started with here, we're going to place down a stone block on top of this red concrete block here in the front, then a light gray stainless pane coming off that toward the forward from the ship. We then want to go ahead and go back from this stone block, a addition or a row of 30 more stone blocks. So you should have a total of 31 stone blocks from that light gray stained glass pane there in the front. And then on the end of this row on the back here, we're going to place down a light gray stained glass pane as well. Going back up to the front, we're going to go to our 2nd and 3rd stone blocks. We're going to place down 2 light gray stained glass panes and then 2 andesite walls back, followed by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23 stone blocks back. So again, 23 blocks back, a andesite wall, and then a light gray stained glass pane. Going back up to the front here, we're going to then go to our 3rd and 4th blocks and place down 2 light gray stained glass panes and an andesite wall, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13 stone blocks back, 2 andesite walls, and 2 light gray stained glass panes back. With that all done, that right there is going to basically wrap up what we have there for layer number 3. Here's what it looks like from up above. And with that, we'll be going ahead and moving on to our next layer, layer number 4. Moving on to our next layer, we have layer number 4. For layer 4 to begin with, we're going to place down an andesite wall on top of this light gray stained glass pane, followed by a row of stone blocks going back. This in total is going to go back a total of 31 stone blocks back. We're going to go then place down an andesite wall there on the very end of that row. Our next row out to the side is going to be a skeleton skull coming off this wall, then 2 light gray stained glass panes back from that. We're going to place down an item frame on the side of this first glass pane, and then a crossbow in the item frame rotated downwards to make the anchor. We then want to place down a row of 1 stone upside down stair, and then a stone upside down stair right behind it. We're going to go then take our stone full blocks, go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and 26 stone blocks back, an andesite wall, and then a light gray stained glass pane there in the corner. Then moving out to the sides here, we're going to go ahead and count back 1, 2, and our 3rd stone block. From the front, we're going to place down a light gray stained glass pane, followed by a 2nd and 3rd one back, so you have a total of 3 there. We're going to go then grab end rods. We're going to place down 2 end rods, so 1, 2, and we want to go and then place down 2 iron trap doors. After that, we're going to place down an andesite wall here. And after that, we're going to then place down a birchwood sign on the side of the andesite wall. We then want to place down 2 more iron trapdoors, then 1, 2, 3 end rods, and then another andesite wall, birchwood sign on the side of the wall, and then 1 and 2 iron trapdoors, and then 1 and 2 stone blocks, 2 andesite walls, two light gray stained glass panes going back like that. And once you have that all done right there, that is going to basically complete what you have there for layer number 4. You'll take the same thing, obviously apply it to both sides, and with that we'll be going ahead and moving on to our next layer, layer number 5. Moving on to our next layer, we have layer 5. Layer 5 here is where we go ahead and start to do each layer all together as we start to get into some of the complicated aspects, kind of revolving around the deck detailing and the conning tower and all that. So to begin with, we're going to place down an end rod on top of this wall here, and then we're going to place down 2 iron bars up from that. We're going to go and then place down a redstone repeater on top of this stone block, and we're going to separate the notches apart from each other like so. Followed by a grindstone on top of this stone block here. And then to the sides here on these light gray stained glass panes, we're going to place down 3 iron bars going up like that for antenna. We're going to place down another redstone repeater like so, separate the notches, and we're going to go and then place down a skeleton skull on top of those stone upside down stairs to both sides. After that, we're going to place down a piston here in the center, a birchwood fence gate to both sides of the piston, and we're going to go ahead and open up these fence gates toward the piston like so. We're also going to place down a daylight detector, a birchwood sign on both sides of that like so. Going back from this, we're going to go ahead and then place down a stone brick slab in the center, and then to the sides of that, we're going to place down gray carpet. We're going to place down another piston here in the center, and then we're going to go ahead and then place down a redstone repeater like this to both sides. If you are on a different version other than Java, I would recommend for these pistons to instead use stone brick slabs, mainly because we will be going ahead and modifying the pistons, as you can see over here, using a tool on Java which is called a debug stick. And unfortunately, Bedrock and Pocket Edition do not have access to that tool, so just want to give you a forewarning on that one so that you can go ahead and plan accordingly to make your build work. Anyways, though, continuing on, we're going to go ahead and then place down a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 stone blocks down the center here. We're going to go ahead and place down a gray carpet right here, and then another redstone repeater, like this to both sides. And again, our gray carpet. We're going to go then place down a light gray stainless pane on top of this one here to both sides, and we're going to then place down a light gray carpet that goes back, or sorry, just a normal gray carpet that goes back from it. We then want to place down a row of 2 of iron trapdoors to both sides like that, and then we're going to go and then take our birchwood fence gates and place down 2 fence gates and open them toward those trapdoors. If you're on Java, we can kind of one-up ourselves here, and we can go ahead and grab ourselves an item frame, and we'll also go ahead and grab some gray stained glass panes. And this is going to be only for Java. We can place down a item frame on the top of this glass pane here. So actually, we'll just go ahead and delete these to begin with, but we'll place it down on top of the glass pane here, and we'll place down a light gray stainless pane in that, and we can place our birchwood fence gates and close them. Unfortunately, they did kind of glitch out on us. So for some reason, this doesn't want to work, so we're going to go and just disregard the iron frame altogether. Not that big of a deal. We're going to then place down 2 light gray stained glass panes back. So 1, 2, and 1, 2 back. After that, we're going to take our gray carpet and just place down 2 gray carpet, one on top of the end rod and one on top of that iron trap door. We're going to go then place down a birchwood fence post to both sides like so on those iron trap doors. And then we're going to place down a row of 3 of stone blocks across. We're going to place down a second row of 3, then a third row, like that going across. We're going to go then place down 1 and 2 stone blocks going down the sides here, and in the middle we're going to place down 2 light gray shulker boxes like so. We're going to place down another row of 3 of stone, and then a second row of 3 like that, continuing to work its way back. Now down the center we're going to go and then place down 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 stone blocks, and then taking our light gray stained glass paint, we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 light gray stained glass panes against the side of those blocks. Then on the very outside here, we're just going to go and take gray carpet and just run across the top here of these miscellaneous blocks for the siding here. So just like that. And then at this point here, we're going to go and then place down 2 birchwood fence gates on top of these walls, and we're going to open these up toward the inside there. We then want to place down a row of 1, 2 stone blocks, and we're going to place down 2 light gray stainless panes to the sides there of those blocks. This section here, we're going to go and place down another stone block back, and then another light gray stainless pane on both sides. Another stone block in the center. This time we're going to place down a stone upside down stair coming off the sides here, and then coming off that upside down stair, we're going to place down a upside down stair as well. So you have basically 2 upside down stairs basically facing each other like so. Then we're going to place down a stone block in the center, light gray stainless pane to both sides, and then we're going to place down a stone brick stair in the center. Again, a light gray stainless pane to the sides there of that stair. We're going to go then place down a redstone repeater on the back here. Notches spread apart like so. And then we're going to place down gray carpet on top of those andesite walls. And then taking our iron bars, we're going to go ahead and go up with 3 iron bars on top of those glass panes in the corners. So, just like that. And once you have that all done right there, that's going to pretty much wrap up what we have here for this layer, trying to make sure we're not missing anything and everything does appear to be good to go. So, take a look at it from above here. This way you should have the top-down view of layer 5 complete. And with that, let's go ahead and move into our next layer, layer number 6. Moving into our next layer, we have layer number 6. For layer 6, to go ahead and get started with here, we're going to place down an end rod on top of these 2 fence gates like so. And we're going to go and then go back for these end rods with 2 end rods. So, just like that, going back. We're going to go then place down a stone block right here. Coming off that stone block, we're going to place down our item frame with a black bed, rotate on its side like so. And we're also going to place down a birchwood sign on the side there of that item frame. At this point, we're going to go then place down a andesite wall to the side here, and then a light gray stainless pane coming off that wall. Same thing over here, like so. After that, we want to place down another stone block here in the center, and we're going to go ahead and go back with a light gray stainless pane as well on both sides. We're going to go then place down an orange bed on top of those 2 iron trapdoors there, and then 2 stone blocks down the center. We then want to place down a andesite wall, again a piston here, or a stone brick slab for a good substitute. And then we're going to place down a stone block right here. We then want to go ahead and go to our birchwood fence post. We're going to place down 1 more fence post up, and then we're going to place down 2 end rods back from that fence post. Same thing over here, like so. And just so we don't forget, in the next layer, we're just going to place down a skeleton skull on top of these fence posts as well, just to go ahead and complete those like that. Then grabbing ourselves some redstone repeaters again, and also some iron trapdoors here. We're going to place down a redstone repeater like so, after the stone block spread with the notches spread apart, iron trapdoor, and then we're going to place down redstone repeaters on the sides here of those light gray circle boxes with, again, the kind of notches there spread apart, and then an iron trapdoor here, and then a stone block right here. We're going to go then take gray carpet, 2 gray carpets in this section, and then 3 on those stone blocks like so. Then in the dead center here, for the space in the middle here, we're going to place down a birchwood fence gate like this, open it toward the back, and then a end rod right there on top of that block. Then after that, we're going to place down a redstone repeater here, separate the notches, followed by 2 iron trapdoors back, then again gray carpet, and then again we're going to place down our redstone repeater and separate the notches. We then want to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 stone blocks back, and along those 6 stone blocks, we're going to place down 6 light gray stainless panes. We're also going to go ahead and grab ourselves a orange bed again, and on top of those fence gates here to both sides, we're going to place down a orange bed like that for your lifeboats. And then on the stone blocks here, we're just going to place down a redstone repeater to both sides on the stone blocks with the notches spread apart like so. Then on the very back, we're going to place down a iron trapdoor coming off the stone block, followed by a skeleton skull to both sides of that like so, and then lastly a birchwood sign coming off this iron trapdoor like so. And with that all complete right there, that is going to basically wrap up everything we have there for layer number 6. And with that, we'll be going ahead and moving into our next layer, layer number 7. Moving into our next layer, we have layer number 7. For layer 7, we're going to start off by placing down an end rod on top of these 2, like so, going up. And we also want to go ahead and grab ourselves some barrier blocks. We're going to place down 2 barrier blocks going back from those 2 end rods. Grabbing stone buns, we're going to place down a stone bun on top of that barrier block, and then to the side. Same thing here. On the top and then to the side there like so. We then want to place down a stone block here in the center on top of this block, followed by a second, third, and fourth one back, so you have a row of 4 there. We're going to go ahead and take our iron trapdoors. We're going to place down 1 and 2 iron trapdoors here, 1 and 2 over here, and then we're going to place down birchwood signs on the sides there of those iron trapdoors. Like that. Then taking andesite walls, we're going to place down 2 andesite walls back on both sides, just like that. And then we're going to go ahead and then place down another andesite wall here in the center, and then skeleton skulls to both sides of that wall like so. And then a andesite wall on top of this stone block, which is going to be followed up with a iron bar coming off of it, and then an iron bar to both sides of that one, like so. Then 1 iron bar forward, and then a skeleton skull to both sides of that iron bar. That'll be kind of the start there for our satellite. At this point in time, I do want to take a moment to go ahead and for our Java players, go ahead and type in the command /give space @p space Minecraft : debug_stick. Pressing enter with this command will give you this glowing stick. By going to these pistons, we can go ahead and right click the pistons and it will get rid of that wood portion on top, which kind of helps us with our detailing there a little bit in the shaping overall for the ship. In addition, using our debug stick on Java, we will be going ahead and doing one slight modification that will not be available on other versions. This right here can be substituted with a skeleton skull coming off the side of this block, but the best thing for us to go ahead and do here is going to be placing a lever there. To do this, we're going to go ahead and skip a space off from this wall. So we have a space of 1 between a wall and a block to the side. We're going to place down a lever on the side of those blocks, and then going ahead and taking our debug stick, we're going to go ahead and left click the lever with our debug stick until we get selected facing. By going ahead and crouching in there, we're going to go ahead and right click, and it's going to rotate the lever until it connects up to the wall. Same thing will be done over here on this side. And in doing so, you have these levers here that will be coming off the walls like so, and will be kind of added upon later with some antenna and all that stuff. Again, those can be substituted out for skeleton skulls, but levers here are going to be your best bet. Continuing on, however, we're going to go ahead and place down a birchwood fence gate on top of this end rod right here, and we're going to go ahead and open this one toward the front of the ship. We're going to go ahead and place down an inside wall up right here, followed by 2 iron bars going back, iron bar on both sides of the first one, and then a skeleton skull coming off both sides of that one that sticks out. Then back here this section, we're going to place down a stone block here, followed by 1, 2, and 3 iron bars going up from those 2 glass panes, and also a gray carpet here in the center between those. We're also going to place down a stone block here, and we then want to place down another gray carpet, then a snow block, and then another redstone repeater like so on the end here. And again, taking our iron bars, we're going to place down 3 up from those glass panes on the back there. And with that all done, that right there is going to conclude what we have there for layer number 6. And with that, we're probably going to move into our final layers here, which will include layers 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So with that, let's go ahead and move on to layers 7 through 11. Alright guys, moving into our final layers, we have layers 7 through 11. For these layers to go ahead and get started with, we're going to place down an andesite wall on top of these 2 end rods like so. And in the space in between, we're going to place down a birchwood fence gate. We then want to go ahead and go up from those with a skeleton skull to both sides. And our birchwood fence gate here in the center, which will be opened up toward the front. And our birchwood fence gate on top of that one, also opened up toward the front. On the very top here, we're going to place down a skeleton skull. Coming off the skeleton skull, we're going to place down a end rod, or 2 end rods going in both directions, front and back. And then coming off the sides of the end rods and the skeleton skull, we're going to place down chains on the side here for this radio system up on top there. So just like that. After that, we want to go and then place down a snow block on top of this stone block here. A redstone repeater, not just separated, another snow block, and then grabbing our end rods, we're going to place down an end rod on top of those 2 blocks there. A skeleton skull at a 45-degree angle on top of those rods like so. A birchwood fence gate here, open toward the back, and then on top of that, we're going to place down a iron trapdoor like so. After that's all done, we're going to take our end rods. We're going to go ahead and place down 1, 2, 3 end rods up, followed by a birchwood fence post up on top, and a fence gate here to the sides like that of it. After that's all done, we want to go ahead and then take our iron bars. We're going to place down 1, 2, 3 iron bars up from those levers, so 1, 2, 3. And we're going to go ahead and place down 1, 2, and 3 iron bars up from those skeleton skulls. And lastly, also for the main mast here, we're going to place down a wither skeleton skull on top of that birchwood fence gate, or fence post. After that's all complete, we're going to go and move back to our antenna, or our kind of radars, or whatever you want to call these on the back here, satellites. We're going to place down a anvil, and then we're going to place down a skeleton skull to both sides of the anvil. We're going to go and place down a snow block coming off of that. To the side of the snow block, we're going to place down 2 iron bars, like that. Then on top here, we're going to place down 1, 2, 3. Then 1 iron bar coming off the center. And then a skeleton skull coming off both sides of that end rod. That's our first kind of satellite dish there. We're going to then place down an end rod on top of this birchwood fence gate. And then an end rod to both sides of that end rod. And then on this, for the satellite here, we're going to go and do the same thing. And basically the same thing we did for the back one. So just like that. And then we get to our rear one, which is going to be the andesite wall. We're going to do our 3 iron bars 1 iron bar like that coming off both sides there, or actually, sorry, 1 iron bar coming off the center, and then a skeleton skull to both sides. Then we're going to place down our anvil. Same thing, skeleton skull to both sides. Snow block. 2 iron bars going forward. Up on top here, 3 iron bars. 1 iron bar in the center. And then a skeleton skull to both sides, like so. And that's going to do it for your third and final kind of satellite dish. And then after that's all done, we're going to go and place down 2 polished black stone walls going up from this stone block here. On the bottom wall here, we're going to go and wrap birchwood signs around it, like so. And that right there is going to basically conclude my tutorial, or layer 7 for 11, and with that, my tutorial here for the USNS General Hoyt S Vandenberg. Hope you guys do enjoy this tutorial and are able to put it to good use. If you guys do end up using this tutorial, I do ask you guys to give me proper credit for it. That's me thinking from a son that built to my channel, or whatever. As long as you guys give me proper credit for it, that's all I ask for in doing these tutorials and all that fun stuff. Anyways, though, thank you guys again so much for watching. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This has been Garrett 2x4, and I'll see you guys next time.